She mentioned that even the movement of her lips while talking increases her pain so much. She felt little better with taking a tea or applying any balm on her forehead. So is this audible now? Still cracking my voices? Can you all hear me now clearly? Okay. So here I want to mention that the patient is a person who is not much educated, and she was completely with allopathic treatment before this, and she had no knowledge of homeopathy, and all that things she mentioned me on my first visit was about her problems in a name and fact level only. So this case was the level of experience in this case was name and fact. So I further went into her physical generals. She mentioned she had a very good appetite, even if hunger is too much. But after taking a few quantity of food, a half quantity of food, she will feel that fullness. But despite she would be feeling hunger, which I felt very peculiar. She was thirstless. Her stool was sometimes constipated, maybe hard and brown at times. And she had this mild burning in urination while fasting since 3 or 4 days only. Her menses was regular. It was painful sometimes. And she mentioned she's having perspiration, especially on her face, only on her face, especially over the nose, she mentioned. And further asking about her sleep, she mentioned that she had this difficulty because of her nose obstruction. She couldn't find a position. If she was remaining in a position for a long time, it felt very hard and difficult for her. So she has to change her position very frequently in her sleep. And with sleep, I also asked about her dreams. First, she was spontaneously telling, "No, I don't get any dreams at all." But when I persisted, she mentioned that, "Yeah, I may get few dreams, but I don't remember." I didn't probe much and went to the other areas. When asked about her desire for food and drinks, she mentioned she likes this biryani and chili chicken with more spices added to this. And she had a strong aversion for coffee also. And she mentioned several food items didn't agree with her body condition. Like if she takes more fruits, she may get cold, coryza and everything. And potato makes her feel her abdomen is felt very distended, and she may feel gastric difficulties also. With brinjal, she may get some skin allergies like itching and small eruptions. And she also mentioned that she couldn't stand the smell of cigarette. It makes her very suffocating. So, while asked about nature, she said, "I'm a quite short-tempered person. I used to get angry very violently. I will start throwing things around in anger." She said she's also abusive towards her husband, especially when quarreling. And even when she goes out of her house with for fetching water or something, she may get some problems with her neighbors. There also she will be very abusive towards them. She said, "I can't control my anger at all. I beat my children violently sometimes with as I couldn't control my anger, I used to show my anger very violently to my children." So, further asked about her nature, she said, "I'm quite a very praying person. I used to go to temple, do every ritual, follow everything, lights lamps every day, keeps fasting every Friday. And she also used to pray before going to bed at night, and she applies the sacred powder on her forehead every day without absence." And while telling about the her praying habituals and going to temple, she said, "Doctor, I have this fear of narrow and closed places inside the temple, especially the where the god shrine is kept. There she used to have some fear, especially when it is crowded." So it was like a peripheral vision for me. When telling about her nature, she was spontaneously going to an area of fear. So my next question was about her fear. So she spontaneously denied, no, I don't have any fear of dark and all. And she took a pass and then said, maybe sometimes after seeing any horror movies, I would have some fears. I asked about her childhood fear that she mentioned the incident that she was alone at night in her house. There was no one around her. And all of a sudden, she saw a black person with a white face. So she was so scared, and this person suddenly came close to her, and she was frightened to the hell. After this incident, she got fever also. They gave her many medications, but nothing was much helping her. So they took her to some mosque or something to do some rituals. Like they said, she was possessed with 2 or 3 ghosts or something like that, and they did some rituals like exorcism. And she said, sometimes in my childhood, I used to get frightful dreams also. And I used to startle and scream from the sleep, running towards my parents and clinging them. And after that, I will not be able to sleep. So this was the fear she mentioned. After this, I again went back to her dreams. This time I asked, what are those frightful dreams you get as a child? She said, I have dreams of ghosts. While sleeping, she feels the door is slightly open and a black image with white face entering. On entering closer to her, the image gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and suddenly it comes closer to her, and she will scream of the hell and wake up with a sudden startled feel. And she mentioned that she also gets dreams of falling from high places repeatedly, from which also she startled up from her sleep. So far, everyone clear about the case? Is there any doubts? Sure, doctor, I'll explain. Which part you don't understand in the case? So let's move to the analysis part. So here in this case, we can go through system analysis and symptom analysis. At the cases level of experiences, fact and name level, I chose symptom analysis in this case. So symptom analysis, the way I chose to arrive the remedy in this case, but where to start in symptom analysis? I felt her headache had a very peculiar totality. So my entry point in this case was her sector totality of headache. So these are the rubrics I have taken: pain, aggravation with anger, pain, headache, stooping aggravation, and talking aggravation, motion aggravation. And in that subrubric, motion aggravation, talking even of a single remedy dull camera was there, and I could see it covers all the other symptoms. Now I went back to all other symptoms of her and confirmed dull camera. So these are the physical generals she mentioned. Mostly her complaints are right-sided is taken, and her appetite, even hunger, she drank and thirstlessness. She also had strong aversion to coffee. She had this aggravation with foods, and she has to change her position frequently. And every position seems very hot for her. So perspiration was only on face. Again, you can see that camera here. So now I took her mental generals, which is her abusive nature and throwing things away. She got this delusions of ghost-like images, devils, black images, and dreams of falling. She had this fear of narrow places, especially in temples. So narrow place in claustrophobia, walls, churches, and cellars of startled from sleep and screaming during sleep. Again, you can see dull camera here. So one more interesting rubric I felt is her delusion, that the ghost or black image which is coming towards her, and while it coming, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can see delusion, ghost spirit sees enlarging, dull camera as a single remedy. So this was my symptom part of analysis. Now I went to system part of analysis. As we all know, dull camera belongs to Solanaceae family. You can see the themes of Solanaceae. Violence is there, her anger is violent, and she beats up her children also violently. There is lots of suddenness in her mind symptoms and in her physical symptoms, to catch cold suddenly, ghost coming in front of her suddenly, and headaches comes very suddenly. And she had this fear and pride, and she mentioned very strongly in a denial way that she don't have any fear of God, and she sees all her ghosts in black and white themes, and even she got fever from fright. She used to startle and scream out during sleep, which she go and cling to her parents. And you can see she is a very religious person, doing everything, every rituals in a perfect way. This is a compensation of her fear. So also you can see she had some disagreements with food items like potatoes, brinjal, and smoke of cigarette, which all belongs to the same Solanaceae family: Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melangiana, and nicotine alkaloid of tobacco. It confirms our remedies, dull camera. So I started the case with 30 potency and then increased up to 1 potency. So before seeing follow, any other doubts? Okay, so let me show the follow. So as I said, this picture was taken 15 days after the medication. Her polyp size slightly reduced within 15 days, and nasal obstruction also reduced. She felt little bit breathable now, and her sleep was also improved. She got headaches twice, but she took painkillers for that. And her thirst also increased slightly, and her urine is also completely better in 15 days. And here you can see this is after 1 month, the polyp is much reduced. You can see it's gone inside. At this point, she had nasal obstruction only persisting while lying on the right side. Otherwise, she felt very relieved with her nasal obstruction. Her appetite is also much better and improved without any satiety. In this period of time, she had diarrhea for 5 to 6 times. Profuse watery stools were there, but she got better without any medication. Just fluids and some home remedies helped her. And at this point also, she got headaches thrice, but she took painkillers for that. And this is after 3 months. You can see the polyp has completely gone. Her nasal was opened completely, and she got 2 or 3 times cold, but without much troubling. Once there was fever, but without any nasal obstruction. Sneezing and profuse watery discharges were there. At that time, dull camera was repeated, and she had headaches also at this point, which is much lesser than previous times, which is better also by drinking tea itself. So this is my first case. Is it sorry, I can't understand you. What do you mean by take all the symptoms as rubric to find out medicine? Yes, repetition was done few times, 3 or 4 times within the span of 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. After that, there was no repetitions done. And the miasm is not clear, doctor. I went with rubrics one, with the symptoms only. She was on 30th potency still 1 month only. After that, she developed some dreams and she mentioned it to me. So I changed the potency to 1M. Within 15 days, 30 potency was only given, not 1M given. 1M was repeated after 1 month. Yes, it belongs to ringworm, but there was nothing much in a confirmation for me in this case. She had lapses of polyps within 2 years. It was not so much clear in her case. So, so after 10 months, she, as I said, she is not much educated. As her symptoms got settled little bit, she stopped the medications. But her daughter is one of my patients, so she may accompany her one or twice. And after 10 months, I could see she had completely better with her nasal complaints. And headaches were also very rarely, but it was a little bit manageable without any painkillers. Still, she was angry and abusive with her husband. But this time, when she gets angry, there will be no headaches at all. And she's now able to eat foods without any problem like coryza, cough, or anything. And she's able to eat potatoes also and brinjal also. But taking potato a little bit in increased quantity will make her feel gastric trouble. Otherwise, she is fine with everything. And it's been this case I have done. It's been like 4 to 5 years. Still now there is no relapses of her polyp. She is completely better. She may get 1 or 2 times fever or coryza, which is again better with Delcambra itself. So no, I didn't took any polyp symptom in the rubric. As much deeper aspect of the case is that I felt it better with other symptoms itself, confirmations. Yeah, over a period of time, her anger also improved actually. She showed her anger in a much better way, not like throwing things and becoming abusive. She felt it much better. No, I didn't get under miasm. The case is not much clear with any miasm. So, hopefully, let me go to the next case. Okay. So, again, this is he had sinusitis and right-sided DNS problem since childhood. And he came to me at the age of had tendency to sneezing and nose obstruction, headaches, throat infection since childhood. Since he was like from 5 to 6 years, he got all these problems. But everything got very worst since last 4 years only. And the patient is much of a believer in natural cure. He doesn't take much medication, even for the sneezing, nose obstruction. He used to take some home remedies. He used to take much fluids and take much rest. He don't take that much of allopathic medicines. So here also he was not much interested to come to my treatment, but his mother insisted him. Since last 4 years, he was not getting better with any home remedies. His mother insisted him to come for a homeopathic treatment, and this is how he came to me. And he also had this hair loss problem since 3 years, and he has this tremendous fear of going bald. So he complained of sneezing, which is much worse in the morning after waking, especially after he touches the water, he washes his face or brushes, he soon gets the sneezing. And he also had nasal obstruction, mostly on the right side, which is also worse with waking in the morning and during midnight time, which is affecting his sleep as well. And he said he's much better with taking some steam vapors and blowing the nose. His nasal discharges thick yellow, sometimes it's bloody, and it will be very difficult for him to detach. He had to sneeze, he had to blow his nose very strongly to get detached of that nasal discharge. And it got worse with the damp, rainy weathers also. He said these complaints are troubling me too much. So he also had this forehead headache problem, which was in his forehead, especially above the root of the nose. He had this pain. He said the pain is pressing me. He said it with a hand gesture of like this. It's pressing me. And I asked, what do you mean by pressing me? He said it's a heavy pressure. It's like tightness, heaviness, not able to be free. It's something is something is pressurizing inside the nose, he said. So he said it also begins in the morning and ends till the evening. It's more or like appearing and disappearing with the sun. The headache is also worse with turning or moving his head, stooping, and he gets headache very frequently when he is angry or he felt some stressful situation. He is sad. He used to get headaches at that time. So when asked about the impact of the ailments on him, as he said, it's making me very irritable. I asked him more about his complaint. He said, I am very disturbed with this complaint. I feel irritable to have this complaint. When asked further, he said, all my friends and colleagues are free, even though they are taking allopathic medicine. But I am I am allowing my body to heal naturally, but I am suffering repeatedly like this. So this makes me feel like very restricted and unable to move or unable to free like everyone else. When further asked about this, he said the restriction is too much. It's like pressure, heaviness, burden, tightness, unable to move, and very confined. All these words came up little by little. I persisted on that restricted feeling, and he gave all these words. So here you can see the level of experience in this case is mostly among emotion and sensations. And as I know this, he got this problem which is increased over last 4 years. I decided to go for a stressful situation or the situation which affected him before 4 years. I felt it like a hot spot to probe much. So he said, yeah, I had a stressful situation before 4 years. When he completed his schooling, he was not able to choose the career or college which he desired. His father forced him to go to engineering college because it may increase the earning possibility of the family. But he preferred to go for arts and science college. This situation affected him very much. He felt he is not allowed to choose the college of his choice. When asked his experience in this situation, he said, my father has been the reason for all my problems. As he was in the family situation, my father blackmailed me. I said, what was your feeling in that situation? He said, I felt like a slave in a jail, no freedom to choose his own career or college, caged feel, chained, unable to break free. There was heaviness over the chest and he felt suffocated. Again, he used the hand gesture like this. So I now wanted to see, he mentioned all the sensation of being restricted, caged, and confined, everything. But now I wanted to see what would be the opposite sensation. So I asked a hypothetical question to him. What if he was allowed to pursue the career he wanted or liked? And how would it feel for him if he was allowed to make his own choice? So this was my next question, for which he said, I would be very free and relaxing. I always wanted to be free, wanted to spread my wings, but I was restricted. Even now, just imagining about how would it be if I follow my own choice makes me feel very light, weightless, rising above the ground, up in the air, floating up in the air, flying high with no restrictions. These words came up after I pursued him about telling about the freeness. He first mentioned me about the freeness. When I pursued him to tell more about freeness, these words came up. So when I asked about, is there anything bothering him, he said he felt very bad that his friends are getting better job placements with high package, with high salary packages. He said, I feel so jealous of them. I have put so much effort than them, but I am not getting what they are getting. I am more responsible and I do my things, do my studies very perfectly than them. but they are getting more than me. He also said it makes him feel very smaller. They are getting about 3L package or something and he's getting only 1L package. He feels they are superior than him and he is feeling inferiority. But he mentioned that this is only after my college I'm feeling like this. In school, I used to be the superior person. I was the highest mark rank holder in my class throughout the entire school. But as this profession, this career was not chosen by me and it was chosen by my father, I was not able to put my 100% in this. So I am feeling very inferior than these people, he said. So when asked about his childhood, he said he was a very ambitious person. He used to get first mark, get first in everything, in games, competition, and his entire focus will be on the only one thing as which he attained as his goal. And he used to win also and come first also. He liked to remain in that first place and keep maintaining it. So when asked about his nature, he mentioned, I'm a perfectionist. Whatever I do in a very perfect way. Likes to take more responsibility. He was a pupil leader in the school day and a chairman in his college also. And he used to manage all the events by himself. And whatever he takes up, he do it to his full hearted and complete focus on it. With complete perfection, he finishes off. And he was much concerned about his looks also. Throughout the case, he was telling me, I'm losing so much hair. I am having this fear of becoming bald also. So the personality and appearances affects him very much. He also uses some home remedies to maintain his hair, but it's in pain. And he puts lots of efforts to grooming also. He said he used to trim and shave his mustache and beard in a very perfect manner, in a very perfect shape and size. He used to trim that. That much of he is concerned about his looks and appearances. So he also mentioned, I'm here only because my mom told me to take homeopathic medicine. I am okay with whatever she says. Initially, I was too attached with her, completely dependent on her. Even though I am grown up, still I follow whatever she says. She completely understands me and she never says me to do anything which I don't like. I love my mother so much than any other person. And he used to gift his mother very constantly, not only in occasions or something. He used to even draw something, make a DIY for her. Just a very simple gifts he used to give her. And he likes to do that actually. And when asked about his anger, he said he can't stand any injustice in front of him. So I asked to narrate about an incident where he got so much of anger. He mentioned that he was in a marriage function of his cousin, and some relative of one of his own relative was disturbing the bride and making the whole scenario in a very weird way. So everyone was like consoling that person to not get too much involved or not to talk too much, and they tried to ease that person, but he got very much anger, but he controlled all those anger because he don't want to spoil the occasion, and it may spoil that bride's perspective also. So he didn't show this anger. So he said, I was clenching my fist very tightly to not show my anger. So when I asked about what you would have done if you were allowed to show your anger, he said, I controlled it because I don't want to create a problem for the bride. I asked, okay, if you want to show that anger, how you would have shown that anger? He said, I should wait for the right opportunity, not to create a chaos in that whole marriage function. I will wait for him to be alone and will take him to a distant place where no one would come to help him, will grab hold of him tightly, without allowing him to move and punched him on his face repeatedly. And he said he will grab hold of him like this gesture he gave that time. And about his interest and hobbies, as I already mentioned, he used to paint a lot and give to his mother. He said he's a creative painter. He used to imagine things and paint on his own. And he said the painting should also be very perfect, doctor. The each stroke and line and dot, everything should be in the same aspect and same stroke should be there. That much of perfection I would like in the paintings. He said he is also a philosophical reader. He used to follow Osho and many spiritual persons also. He said he liked this element, fire element, very much because it is more compared with leadership and responsibility. I have a very strong traction towards this fire element. So in dreams, he get clairvoyance dreams. He could predict good or bad things before they happen, such as a death, a birthday function, or sickness. He would predict his mother would fall sickness, and exactly 2 days later she would fall sickness. That kind of dreams he used to get, and he used to get this dream of heights where he said he will be standing in a very high place, like a mountain or a very large skyscrapers or a building, and he would jump or fall from such a high place. Even though he falls from such a high place, he would not end up in any injuries or anything. He will just stand up and walk away from that place. That kind of dream he used to get. And he also got this dreams of snakes. Sometimes it's pursuing, sometimes it's attacking him, kind of dreams he used to get. And when asked about his genres, he said he had perspiration in his hands and legs. If he put full hand shirts or something, the cloths will get stick to his body. So if sticky kind of perspiration he had desires for biryani, eggs and fruits, especially bananas he liked, and he likes chocolates also, that too very dark chocolates, and he had aversion towards sweets. So what is the analysis in this case? Before that, is there any questions about that case? Okay, so many suggestions are here. Thank you, doctors, for your suggestions. Thermal, it's not much peculiar, doctor. Domination history. Nothing like the domination history. Yeah, he had high and low deal with his friends and colleagues who got much better payment than him. Yeah, he feels trapped somewhere. He expressed it like confined, caged feeling. Yes, he is a perfectionist also. So in this case, as the level of experience is beyond emotion and sensation, I would choose to go by the system aspect in this case. So as you all mentioned, so in system analysis, you can clearly see the animal kingdom. Like something is pressing. His father is the reason for all his problems, and it denotes the I with his you concept, and he has this tremendous jealous for his friends also. The superior and inferior feel, which makes him feel like a hierarchy, and he wants to be on the top always. And he is much concerned about his looks and appearance, which is very common in animal kingdom to be attractive. And he described his anger in a very peculiar pattern. No, he want to take that person to the alone place where no one can help him. He will wait for the right opportunity, then grab him with a hand gesture. Also, he mentioned. So these all denotes the animal kingdom. Next, we got so much of words from him. Like from the starting itself, we can see that resting pain, heaviness, tightness, restricted, need to be free, confined, locked, chained, caged, unable to move, no freedom, suffocation, and the opposite sensation of rising up above the ground into the air, spreading his wings, flying. So these are all the themes of birds. Right? Okay, now I know I need a remedy from, and one more point, sorry. There are other bird themes also, like the strong maternal instinct, clairvoyance, and he is a very creative person. You can see this picture. This is the one he done by him actually. And he showed this to me. He said, "Doctor, you can go into the details of the painting. No single dot will be of different shapes. Everything will be of the same size, shape, and there will be no smudge at all. The whole picture will be that perfect. I spent like 4 to 5 hours in this painting," he said. So you can see that also. He's a very creative person. And as we all know, birds have this tendency to gift others, especially their loved ones. So that is also a confirmation for bird remedy. Okay. Now we know we need a remedy from animal kingdom, which belongs to birds. But which bird? So here I took the symptom analysis for the health. So in symptom analysis also, there is one peculiar thing he mentioned, which I took as an entry point in my case, which is his dreams. He used to fall from a high building straight into the ground, but he would not land up in an injury or something. He would just get up and walk from that place, which felt very peculiarly. I went into the repertory and I found this rubric: dreams, jumping, height from and landing easy. You can see only 2 remedies are there, and one of our bird remedy is Heliatus leucocapitis, right? So when I reversed the remedy eagle, Heliatus leucocapitis is an eagle bird, and when I reversed this, I could see maximum of his local and general symptoms falling into it, like his headache appearing and disappearing with sun, forehead pain in with nose above the root of nose, and he had this nose obstruction, especially on right side. His discharges are difficult to detach, falling out of hair. Hair loss is a very important symptom of Heliatus actually. I have seen in more than 2 or 3 cases actually, dreams of snakes. And he had this desires for fruits, chocolates, bananas, eggs, and aversion to sweets, spices desire, and his perspiration was very sticky, right? So you can see again here, Heliatus was covering every symptom of the patient. So some of the other points which confirmed the remedy eagle is, he had this complete, he mentioned throughout the case about this focus, goal, and these are the important words of eagle actually. And he also showed this clenching hand gesture. No? So eagle used to hold its prey with talons, with clenching like this only. It used to grab it and hold very tightly, and then only it will go for the strike. And from system of map and birds in homeopathy, you can see that Heliatus falls in the 6th level of birds, where leadership qualities and high responsibilities are very important. And our patient is very much interested in this responsibility and leadership qualities also. So Heliatus leucocapitis 1 ml was given, only 1 dosage was given. After a month, his nasal and sneezing problems have increased, but the nasal obstruction was not there. His sleep was much better, and headaches came, but it was in a much lesser intensity. No repetition was done at this point. And after 3 months, he got nasal complaints, which is also much better than before. And his hair fall started reducing. He had no episodes of headaches at this time. And he got throat infection once and fever once, which was a little bit some rest and home itself. And after 6 months, his nasal complaints got completely better. His hair fall also stopped. Even he said he got new hairs on his head also. There were headaches 2 or 3 times, once very severe, so I have to repeat once again. This was the time I repeated the second dose. And he also improved his relationship with his father also. After 6 months, he went to his father and spoke about the issue with him, and they kind of sorted it out actually. He is now doing in a very good relationship with his father. So that's all, doctors. Any doubts? was local complaint like this, no? Like something was pressing inside me. Like I versus you, something doing something to someone. That I would take as the theme. And his anger is more aggression part of him. He doesn't want to show his anger, but he had this strong feeling of beating that person. That is the aggressor theme in this case. Yeah, restriction, cage killing of women and girls actually. Sorry, doctor, I don't get what the frequency is meant. Yes, Dr. Manoj. This is one of the biggest differentiation between Palcopy and eagle. Actually, there is no unexpected attack. Just 2 doses were given, doctor. In a span of 1 year now, I had given only 2 doses. Thank you, doctors. So hopefully everyone was okay with the case and understood. Thank you so much for this opportunity.